Why are we
Anyway.
resorting to the use of the military in offering protection for state officials, and in this case, that of the Speaker of Parliament? Why are we resorting to the use of military?
I think that I like the conversation that has generated following the letter by the Chief of Staff of the Ghana Armed Forces on the withdrawal of security details assigned to the Speaker of Parliament. Me de maniaje pa in the sense that Ghana no edu no bi a oka no kreba ko a nkrofo chisu oka no kreba ko a nkrofo town. Me pacho, the role of the police is defined in a democracy. The role of the military is defined in a democracy. Matters of internal security are purely police business. Right? When the police fail, the military become the last resort. Say, police for year na year. Police for na two omonsa fresh soldier. Soldier doesn't observe and come in. But because of that, and say soldier for crying in Namkrum. If you are not on duty and you are in town as a normal person, we say civil dress no obi akura nimzo soldier. But we say soldier tade no wura krumpia, you are coming for a purpose. Because obi hu a na soldier for mo ye den wa. Why are they asking that question? They're asking that question because you are not supposed to be in a civil environment. To the point say, we say obi below the president and the vice president. Obi hu kronfa soldier for dio machia. You ask yourself, are we really building the professional Ghana Armed Forces? But at the back, I made two for partner pay, and I'll go to my point and say, million politicians. I am a politician of a different because by being a free banner, I am a politician of different when it comes to matters of security. But made two million politicians. Young Peggy say, yeah, some free police need soldier near my home, and let the people remain professional. I do maybe a linguist, a ferry. Me kind chief of staff let an see me trust and say, hey, I didn't cry me. Why? Chief of Staff is saying that I've realized that there are procedural challenges. It's an error. That's what the officer. The president should have fired you long ago. The president should have fired you to show that you committed a blunder. No, Bian will say, hey, yeah, I then Chief of Staff, yes, you are committed blunder. He assigned military details as part of the speaker's security, and he had no right to do that. But no sana one kasa prove me pacho withdraw for regularization. Minia, let me tell you something. Administratively, if you commit an administrative blunder, procedural blunder, you can actually rectify without withdrawing the men. If it is just about rectification, you can rectify the blunder without withdrawing the men. But if you can't rectify without withdrawing the man, it means that it's a high degree blunder that somebody must be fired for that. If it's not a high degree blunder and it's just a procedural blunder, you can rectify without necessarily having to get to the stage that may withdraw as your phone. Number two, look, if you look at the state security apparatus, the whole structure is such that police force, they must be empowered and respected to play that role that they are supposed to play. To the point that look, we are demeaning our armed forces. We are reducing them to rats. And basically, the Biamika said, give him that respect. Police give him that respect. Unim says, Obi Wudaho. That's a Osman soldier for why you are wasting your time. Obiawu. Yes, in Tokobia Baby, now a small soldier for the soldiers can do nothing. They have no clue what is happening. They can stop the killings. But so you have to take the police there to go and really find out what causes the death, investigate the murder, prosecute the offenders, and bring sanity. Anything occur international scene in Tokobia, the first people I call a soldier for. Because a jack at the room, a soldier for no corner a Janet Dumois. To bring back social sanity, the police for Neko. Police where you put the bricks here and put the mortar here and build society back, build the peace and let the country come back to normal. So internal security is purely a police business. And if we generate this debate to a higher level, so the role of the military in current democratic dispensation must be understood by everybody. The role of the police must be understood by everybody. Where should our money go? Police, military in a democracy, who should be more funded? That is when we begin to change the debate and understand the need to spend wisely, prioritize wisely in terms of who is really supposed to protect democracy.
All right. But Obi Abaka said, we are where we are because of the request for certain personnel from the Ghana Armed Forces to be attached to the Speaker's office. And the Speaker said, oh, police detail. Why that request in the first place?
That's it. I just read the National Security Minister's letter, and I think that it's an impressive document. It leaves many questions unanswered. But see, I mean, security detail, more Biaka say, yeah, withdraw Speaker's security detail, Antisa. So regularization here, it doesn't affect the Speaker's security detail. Basically, what is covered under there is that they are not specific to say, yeah, withdraw soldier for them. When you talk about security detail in general, it includes the soldiers. But this particular debate, we are talking about the withdrawal of the soldiers as part of the Speaker's security detail. That is the debate. Okay? I don't think the Speaker actually in the National Security Minister's letter, on also kind of, see, yeah, as for now, on some contingencies, you can make a request and they'll follow protocol and let the soldiers be there. And that is exactly what happened. The Speaker wrote, and the military looked at the circumstances. Meaning, when you have strange situations, you need strange solutions. When you have extraordinary situations, you need extraordinary solutions.
But are we saying,
when in our history have you ever seen, say, electoral commissioner on Namanu Soja for Dinachi? Because the circumstances, according to her, and by virtue of the fact that government understands, they've given her military. When in our history have we ever seen a hanged parliament? We have never seen one before. This is the first time we have seen a hanged parliament. That the numbers do not really matter again. We need skills. In the 8th Parliament of Ghana today, numbers do not matter. What matters is skills. Leadership skills that will require us to build consensus and drive national agenda. If you think that using numbers to just bully your way through has been the practice from the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th Parliament, that experience has become useless because you can't bully your way through again. You need skills to bring people on board, to be able to support a particular government position and push it through. If you don't have that skills, you become brutish. And when you become brutish, what you see on the last day of Parliament is what you continue to see. But when MPs, honorable members, no more two blows. Because the skill to get people to align to a particular government position is not there. Oh. And the bullying over the past has become what is routine. And the bullying is no longer working because the numbers are not there. Numbers do not matter. Skill to bring people on board matters.
What will post in watch into Mimbisa way? Are we saying, sir, you need elite police unity beer? One more far advanced than one more normally, more details of politicians and I say fancy speaker, yeah. A kobase, the life of a prominent person, a politician, the threat and I said the risk no ekosura. You bet me because the risk has increased, yet the elite unit of the Ghana Police Service, and ever augmented the ones who are there.
In fact, the problem is a cultural issue. It's a cultural problem because Ghana, no, un say, in Crawford, Jimmy, police for to ya there, so your problem send me and send through and say, hey, Mamba. Do you know the cultural interpretation of that? Mamba, because we know there, eh, and if the Ghanaian understands that is the nature of the military, he's trained to kill, he's trained for combat, right? So when you see them and they actually do what they are supposed to do, because that is by their training, that's what they are assigned to do. And if Ghanaians are happy with that, anytime you have some bit of trouble, Ghanaians and say, oh, my soldier, you and her said we are some time ago, nobody decided to say the gap between the civil police and the military is too wide. Because the military is hard power, the police is soft power. And in between, there is nothing. And in the middle, almost a police for, but they have a higher firepower. They're from a formed police unit. And within the formed police unit bracket, you have the SWAT teams. They are trained to very skillful on the weapon and very skillful on tactics and defense. But they are not soldiers. So you and her anything also know. Let's upgrade this civil police and create a buffer between the civil police and the military with a hard force that is not harder as the military and not as soft as the police. And so all the SWAT teams you find, the formed police you need to find, that is the reason for which they are created. So it is very possible, say, at least have it normal police as guards. That's a threat higher. You can request a higher standard of policing because the threat is higher, and they can give you the SWAT teams or the form police unit. And if that one fails, that is when the only time that you call for my brothers and sisters in the green.
But in this case, the speaker didn't resort to the use of the form police unit, but rather jumped straight to the army. Why?
Why? Because that is a popular perception in the Ghanaian culture. Or a civilian. The speaker is not a security personnel. The speaker has made a request.
But the speaker
I want soldiers.
The speaker is a very matured, experienced politician who has been in parliament all these years and knows about these things you are talking about.
He's an experienced politician. He's not an experienced security officer. I am speaking to you as a security officer. And I'm telling you, as a matter of fact, I understand the Ghanaian culture. Have you seen that even Madam Jane Mensah requested for soldiers and they're full? Have you seen that Honorable Ken Ofureta has soldiers following him? What is that? It is that general Ghanaian cultural belief that say a bad thing for a soldier for. And gradually the soldiers are getting into civil space. And when they get into civil space and they create problems like what happened in Nigeria, all of us tend to cry. But we, the people, we don't understand what security is, and we don't understand the national security structure, and we don't understand which role everybody plays without necessarily having to cross borders. We don't understand that, and we are promoting it at the higher level. So when we promote it at the higher level, the speaker's request was a request. It wasn't mandatory for it to be approved. It was for somebody to advise him that, Mr. Speaker, your request is taken, but according to military protocol, say we but woman in the actually no because a irregular attachment, and you have not provided any SOP to show say this is not done. The SOP says no, the speaker details should not include military. Say there. The SOP says the electoral commissioner details should never have a soldier in there. The SOP says no minister should have a soldier following him. When we talk about close protection security, there should be a national SOP to clearly define who qualifies for that. No, who qualifies for a close protection security? And in that close protection security definition, who qualifies for a soldier and who qualifies for a police? At what point will you have a soldier? At what point do you have a soldier? A police officer. All these things we must define as a nation. You just quote and set yourself free. And now, you see, the Constitution is the highest body, the highest law in Ghana. And in the Constitution, it's telling you that you can't vary somebody's privileges to his disadvantage. You cannot. If you make a mistake and you want to change it, please change it by law. Where is the law? So if you are varying to his disadvantage, the Constitution, which is the highest body, says you can't do that.
There is a suspicion that there is a hidden hand, and this is all purely politics. Do you share that thought or that view?
But and now maybe say a question I think on my Facebook wall or so. Me say, is it possible for a retired general to have his privileges and immunity vary to his disadvantage? And Kongo say no. And I ask that question because if you are a military general and you become so political, I know I'm a politician, you sue the NMBia. So, what pension, privilege, I would politicians who not be influence system waiving or taking away your privileges as a military general. Because they will treat you as a politician. And if they begin to treat you as a politician, we are messing up the security sector. Look, you can mess up the economy, you can mess up with agri, you can mess up with education. But if you tamper with security, the national soul and spirit will be affected. My young cohort, I have me who letter from chief of staff, Miss Simitras, Miss Oh, we crack never be wrong, and your letters. You can call the speaker. Namuntinase. Think about it. Look at it. This is the reason why we want to do this and this. When the speaker understands, you just withdraw the man and do what is required to enhance the speaker's security. You don't have to vary to his disadvantage.
See, from your post on social media, for you suspect this is a political move.
No, I not that I suspect. I believe. It's not a suspicion because, look, the military is very professional. Let me tell you this. The Ghana office is a very professional body. Globally, they are well respected. So when you see something that's unprofessional, you know that this one, there is an underhand dealing. The Ghana Armed Forces will not do this. the Ghana Armed Forces will not do this on their own. And that is why I asked that question. If the general can be used by politicians, and you do what the politician wants, when you are retired as a general, and the politician comes back to also deal with you on retirement, will that be fair?
All right.
Let's watch it. Let's watch and pray.
Like and subscribe and click on the notification. Happy FM, Nimdie, Happy FM, and Nijenkwa.